Hi, my name is Allison Field. My dad, Frank Field, and my brother Storm and I have been television news reporters for many years. And the saddest stories we've had to cover are the ones involving children hurt or killed in fires. Sometimes the kids were playing with matches or lighters. Sometimes it wasn't their fault at all. We made this program to show you the danger of playing with fire and to teach you fire safety lessons so that you'll know what to do if there is a fire. Now, you may believe you already know all about fire safety because you've had fire drills at school, or sometimes firefighters may have come to talk at your school. But listen, because there's a lot more you need to know. My dad and brother put on special firefighting gear to learn firsthand the dangers of fire. One fact they learned and want you to know is that fire is black.
Hi, I'm Frank Field, and this is my son, Storm. Now, we both work in television news, and we decided to report on why so many children are hurt playing with matches, or setting fires, or being trapped in a real fire at home.
We found out most children are not aware of the dangers of fire. And now we want to tell you some things about fire which you may find hard to believe. For instance, if I asked you to describe fire, you would probably describe it as bright yellow flames, or bright light, or hot flames. But a real fire is often much different.
This is what you probably think of fire as like. It's easily controlled. It's nice and warm with pretty flames. And sure, you've seen the firefighters dashing through the flames in movies and on television. Well, in a real fire, it's not that way at all. In the movies and on television, they have to have lots of light, so you'll be able to see the actors dodging flames. If the movies and television showed you what it would really look like in a fire, this is what you would see. Nothing. Just blackness. You would hear only noise and burning sounds, and that's what really happens in a fire.
So what they see on TV and in movies is not how it is in real life. In real life, you can't see anything.
It might be red in color, but a fire in your house or an apartment, it's dark, it's black, it's smoky. You're not even going to be able to see your hand in front of your face.
When something burns outdoors, the smoke from the fire has lots of room to float away. There's plenty of fresh air, and so the smoke doesn't seem dangerous. But when there's a fire inside a building, the smoke is trapped. At first, the hot smoke and gases rise to the ceiling. There's still plenty of air and light at the floor. Then as the fire grows, there's more and more smoke. It turns thicker and blacker at the ceiling. If you were in this room, you would have to get down low to stay out of that layer of choking black smoke. Down on the floor, there is air you can breathe and you can still see. So if you were in this fire, you would have to get low and get out quickly. But with every second as the fire grows, the smoke begins to lower, fills the room, and before you know it, you can't see a thing. The entire house and all the rooms filled with this black, blinding smoke. People who have been in a fire describe it this way.
It was just pitch black. It was black as there weren't any windows in the hallway, and you couldn't see a door.
It was so black that you could put your hand like this and not see it. Down on the floor, you could see. I say about 8 inches off the floor. You could see that smoke rolling.
I have 2 exits in my apartment, but both the smoke was so thick you could not see in there. I lost everything. It was real black. You couldn't even feel it. You didn't see the flames. All you seen was smoke.
This woman has bandages around her face, and she remembers how black it was in the fire that burned her.
And I had seen some flames shooting out from the kitchen, but it wasn't very large. And when I reached the dining room, there was an explosion and the whole room was in flames. I couldn't see, and I couldn't move. The smoke is so black and thick that you can't see anything. It's difficult to breathe. I couldn't see my hands in front of me. I put my hands up to cover my face, but I couldn't see my hands. There's no visibility at all. I heard the fire trucks pull up, and they were in the house in about a minute, and they couldn't find us. They couldn't see, and they called to us. I could make a noise, and they heard me, and that's how they located us. and then they pulled me out, and then my mother.
So remember, while a fire may begin with bright flames, that doesn't last long. In minutes, smoke from the fire will fill the room. The flames disappear in the thick black smoke. In a real fire, you will see nothing. In a real fire, it's black. Now, Dad found that out when he joined firefighters who were learning how to put out real fires. And it really frightened you, didn't it, Dad?
I had no idea how black it would be when I went into a real fire. Now, we videotaped my experience, and I'm going to show you how I got completely lost inside the building when it became so dark from the smoke, I couldn't find my way out.
First, I put on a firefighter's mask and air tank so I could breathe fresh air when I entered the burning building. Listen, you can hear my loud breathing inside the mask once I was in the dark, hot, smoke-filled room.
I want to stand here for a minute to see. Whoops, I'm hitting something. Okay, I can see what you mean. I have to feel around. Let me just turn toward the camera. I can see a light over a camera, and you're about, what, a foot away from me. You're less than a foot. You're right on top of me, and I can't, there, okay, I see the front of the camera now. Now I'm going to turn back toward the fire. I feel the heat is coming. Now, I just walked into the wall here. It was like being an astronaut in space. Yeah, I didn't know if I was upside down. I'd never find a door in this. Okay, I can feel the wall. I just can't imagine how terrible it would be to be inside a room like that without anyone with me.
So, you just saw what happened to Dad, and it could happen to you if there were a real fire in your home or in a building. When a real fire occurs, you won't be able to see. The smoke is often so thick, you wouldn't even be able to see your own hand if you held it up right in front of your face.
Watching a fire, you can see the black smoke pouring out of the windows. You can smell the nasty, stinging smoke. When firefighters rush to the scene of a blaze, they enter burning buildings filled with heat and black smoke. Inside the building, the firefighters face many dangers. They can't see. They have to crawl in the darkness to search for children and grown-ups who may be trapped. Even with all their training and bravery, it is still a frightening experience to be in total darkness and in the heat of a fire.
It's extremely dark, it's hot, it's scary.
I got lost in the apartment. I ran out of air myself, and I was at the point where I didn't know whether or not I was going to make it out.
Many times the visibility is completely zero. You're searching by touching, feeling, listening.
You're just totally blinded. You might as well keep your eyes closed.
And you're not really sure where you are. Inside a fire, you're absolutely blind.
Despite the dangers, many lives are saved by the courageous firefighters who have to enter burning, unstable buildings, crawling through the thick smoke to find children who have been trapped in the smoke and fire. It happens every day. In this house, the 3 children who lived here were very lucky. Most of their home was destroyed by a sudden fire. 2 of the children were found quickly and rushed to a hospital for treatment. The 3rd, a little girl, was trapped. No one knew where she was. But a firefighter crawling through the black smoke saved her life.
As you're making your way towards the fire, it just gets hotter and hotter, and you can't see anything. There's thick black smoke. I knew I was going in the right direction because of the heat. It was intensifying. And that's when I come across this small girl, and it wasn't until I picked her up, actually looked at her, felt the weight of her, knew that I had the 3rd child. It was nice to know that I actually helped somebody to live for another day, and they get to play and grow up and to become an adult and go on with their life.
When black smoke filled her room, 9-year-old Katie Kramer didn't panic. She knew what to do.
I was sound asleep in my bed, and suddenly I felt something hot on my feet, and I looked, and my bed was catching on fire. It was black, totally black, and you couldn't see a thing in the room. I crawled over here and out the hall and got my mother and sister and father.
And you closed the door behind you?
Yes, I did.
As I awakened and came around my bed, I saw about a foot of gray, heavy acrid smelling smoke coming under the sill, under the top part of our bedroom door. And I went out into the hall, and at the same time, Katie went in and woke her sister up.
My sister opened the door and I could see a lot of smoke coming in, and that's how I knew that's how I was sure that there was a fire in Katie's room. And she grabbed my hand. She grabbed my hand and I took a deep breath of what oxygen was left in my room, and I holded it until I could. I holded it as long as I could until I couldn't hold it anymore, and then I breathed the smoke, and I ran downstairs and I shaked my brother a lot, and I almost yelled in his ear, and I said, "Chris, wake up! There's a fire in Katie's room."
Without Katie's quick action, there would have been no warning. All would have died. You see, the smoke detector wasn't working.
The battery in my smoke detector was rusted to the mechanism. I never thought that this would ever happen to us.
I was very scared, but then I thought about how you don't be scared, because if you get scared, you get panicked, and you're not supposed to really get panicked, because then you won't know what to do and everything.
Whereas Catherine Kramer, who was 9 years of age, acted in a heroic manner.
For her bravery, and because she knew what to do and was not frightened by the black smoke, Katie was honored by the mayor of her town and her classmates.
Luckily, Katie knew what to do. She didn't panic. She crawled out of her room because she knew it was cooler on the floor. There would be less smoke and heat down on the floor. When there's a fire outside, the smoke from the fire floats away into the air. But when there's a fire inside a building, the smoke can't get out. It's trapped, and with nowhere to go, rises to the ceiling. As the fire keeps spreading and growing, the smoke gets thicker and darker. It slowly lowers towards the floor. If you stood up, your head would be in the thick smoke and heat. You wouldn't be able to see, and you wouldn't be able to breathe. That's why you have to get down low, under the smoke. Down near the floor, there's air you can breathe, and you'll be able to see. The next thing to do is to stay low and go. Get out as quickly as you can. That's what these children are learning to do.
Stay low. You notice when you stay how the air is bedded down here, and you can breathe much more easily. If you know it's low, you got a little good air down here, and you won't have any problem.
Now, to show you how important this is, we took a family into a fire training center. Then we set up a make-believe fire with plenty of smoke.
Using a machine that makes fog and fake smoke that is not dangerous, and the help of a fire expert, the hallways and bedrooms in this make-believe fire became filled with smoke.
You're lost. You're in a closet.
It's not at all like the movies. You can't see. The result, had the Platino family been in a real fire, would have been a disaster.
I walked right past the doorway, I banged into the walls, and it was just totally at a loss. I was totally lost.
I guess I was surprised at how quickly I couldn't see. I mean, it was just, I had one moment where I just sort of like looked out and I had a little eye contact with Samantha and I caught Stephanie out of the corner of my eye, and then I couldn't see anymore.
Remember what Katie said when she woke up and found her room was on fire?
It was black. I crawled over here and out.
Katie got down on the floor where she could see, where there was less smoke and where it was cooler. What did the Patino family do that was wrong? Well, above this line, you can see the heavy smoke. Below it is cooler air and less smoke. So what should they have done? That's right. They should have gotten low.
Flame in the storage material room.
To learn what it would be like in a real fire, I went to a fire training school.
Right now I've got on your standard firefighting equipment. Boots, bunker pants, protective all the way up to here. I've got a jacket on. I've got a Nomex hood that comes up, covers my neck and across the top of my head. I've got a helmet, and I've got a Scott pack on, which gives me breathing ability in smoky conditions.
Even though this was just a training exercise, it was still very scary. I don't think I would have been able to find my way out through the black smoke if I didn't have the help of trained firefighters.
Okay, out.
people don't understand. You're in a fire, it's black. You can't see. And if you don't know what to do, holding that wall, following yourself around, if you don't know the floor plan, you're lost. So I learned that fires are not bright with flames like you see in the movies or on TV. Fires are black. If there's a fire, you won't be able to see, and it's important not to panic. Remember, get low and go. Get down low under the smoke and then crawl out quickly. So there you have it. Smoke makes everything disappear and the room turns black. In a real fire, you won't be able to see.
So now you know that fires grow fast and give off so much smoke you may not be able to see a thing inside a burning building. You have to stay calm, like Katie did. Never panic, because now you know what to expect. You won't be able to see in a fire because of the black, stinging smoke. And you know what to do. Get low and go.